English lesson for today. We're going to be carrying on and finishing off our biography. Now this video might not be as long as normal because I want to give you maximum time to finish off the writing. Okay, I'm going to do like I've been doing. I'm going to talk you through a couple of bits of it, then I'm going to give you a bit of a tutorial, I suppose, of how I would write one of the paragraphs, and then you're going to have a go at writing it and you're going to finish it off today. So before we get started with that, oh, I've disappeared. Hold on. Lovely. Before we get started with that, what I would like you to do is on Seesaw, I've uploaded a punctuation starter for you. Okay, so have a read through it. It's from a book called James the Giant Peach, which you might have heard of, and you need to insert the missing punctuation. Now I thought this would be nice on Seesaw because it's quite easy to draw the punctuation marks. You don't need to type any words in, it's just the actual punctuation that needs changing. Okay, so go and have a look at it and then come back to me. Okay. So, carrying on with the biography then. So, today we're going to be writing the final two parts. Now, the final two parts are a family tragedy and a great discovery. Okay, so this is the part where her father dies, and it's also then the part where she makes her final discovery, the one that makes her famous. Okay, so before we do that, we need to look back at what we've just written, because we need to, even though this is a new paragraph, we need to make sure it flows from the old paragraph. We can't just have it sort of randomly starting. If we can, we want to try and bridge them and link them together. So if we have a look here, now it's going to be different. It's going to depend on what your ending was for your paragraph. Okay, but for fossils, for example, so let's say that I ended with, I don't know, something about, so let's say my last sentence here, so I said that we should finish on briefly going to hint at a famous discovery. So I might have ended it with, whilst her fossil hunting for the most part led only to minor discoveries, there was one that made her famous. Whilst her fossil hunting, for the most part, led only to minor discoveries, that's not a full stop. I need to put a semicolon in there and then change that to there. There was one that made her famous. So if I ended with that, I need to think of a way of linking my next paragraph into that. So I would probably start, so I'm looking now at a family tragedy. What do I need to include? What happened to her father? What effect it had on her? Okay, so actually, I might now be looking at this. Now I've talked about the famous discovery. So I might be thinking to myself, that's not going to help me link into the part about her father. So I might change it, and you could change yours as well. And that's the important thing. There's no harm in going back and changing your last sentence to help you write your next paragraph. So I'm going to change my last sentence to talk about her father so that I can link it to the next paragraph. So, her love for fossils was continually, so kept going, continually inspired by her father. His, I suppose, him showing her how to find curiosities would always stay with her. I think that's quite nice. Now, that's going to allow me to lead into the family tragedy. So I need to put what happened to her father and what effect did this have on her. Now, we may not know the details of this. So what we're going to do, we're going to research it. So I'm going to put my subheading in, a family heading. Family heading? Not family heading. A family tragedy. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bit of research for when her father died. So let's see if we can get that here. So we've got fighting against poverty, saved from hunger, dangerous work. Okay, so there's nothing really here about her father's death. So I'm literally going to type Mary Anning father's death. And wait for it to load, hopefully. Apologies for this, won't be a second. Right. There we go. So, maybe there was a bit on it, because it's back to the same website here. Okay, so let's have a look then. So, here we go. So this is the paragraph we need. In November 1810, when Mary was aged 11 and Joseph 14, their father died of tuberculosis. He died in debt, so the family faced not only losing its breadwinner, but the further hardship of paying down debt while trying to make enough money to live on. That's a really nice paragraph, and that's pretty much what I'm looking for our paragraph. But I can't copy it because that would be plagiarism. So, I'm going to link to my other paragraph. Now, I talked about would always stay with her. Okay, so, unfortunately, Mary's time with her father was limited. Nice linking paragraph. In November 1810, Richard Anning, because I remember his name, I'm sure it was Richard, let me just double check. Richard Anning, yep. Richard Anning passed away after a short battle with tuberculosis. Now, we don't know it was a short battle particularly. I've put that in there. That's what's called writer's license, to add a little bit of detail in. Okay? And we know it was with tuberculosis. So that's absolutely fine. Okay. Now, I think we need to put about him dying in debt, because I'm just going to double check now what my other point was. So what effect did this have on her? Okay, so that's fine. So her father's passing left the family in a dire situation. Richard died while in a large amount of debt. As his only remaining family, Mary and her brother inherited this debt. This saw them having to not only find enough money to live, but also find money to clear the debt. Now, I'm thinking about my next paragraph. Now, I know that my next paragraph is about a great discovery. So I'm going to lead into that, knowing that that's what's coming next. This made Mary's fossil hunting even more crucial due to the money they brought in. However, finding only small fossils wouldn't be enough. A larger discovery would be needed. And I've really carefully led that up there. Okay, I know what I'm going to write next. I've already thought about it, so I'm leading into it at the end of my paragraph. Okay, what I'd like to do now is to pause the video and go and have a go at writing this paragraph, please. I've modelled it to you, so you can use bits of it, as always, and then come back to me. Okay, so you've written that paragraph, and hopefully you've done what I did, which was a leading sentence into the next paragraph. Now, a great discovery. Now, we've kind of already talked about how much she and her family needed money, so we don't need to worry about that. The famous discovery she made, what happened to the discovery, and the effect this had on her and her family. So, like yesterday, I'm not going to really model this to you. I'm going to give you a sort of an introduction, and then I'm going to let you go for it, see what you can come up with. So, a great discovery. Okay, so my last sentence was a large discovery would be needed. This discovery, I'm going to directly link to it. This discovery came, let's find out when it was. Near the end of 1811, a few months later, found the rest of the skeleton. So 1811. Discovery came in 1811, a year after her father's death. And now, using the website, I would research and write a paragraph about the discovery and the impact that had on the family. That's your final paragraph. The only thing you then need to do is to do a little bit at the bottom about her death, and I'm going to leave that up to you to write. So really, you've got 2 more paragraphs to write. You've got to write about the great discovery, and then a small paragraph about her death to finish the biography off. But I'm going to let you do the research for that and see how you would structure it. I've given you lots of modelling up to this point, so let's see what you can come up with. If you could please submit your biography onto Seesaw, either by a photograph or typing it up or recording it, however you want to do, that would be great. We really want to see them. And think about as well the Leadership Award. The biographies are already the thing I'm looking at to award my Leadership Award based on. I know that Mrs. Woolston and Mrs. Very are doing the same. So we look forward to seeing your biographies, and we will speak to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.